We do already have news about the new season after this one that ends still in like 18, 19 days or something like that. It is going to be called Shapeshifters, which means the official return of Shapeshifters into FIFA, because we didn't see it last year for some reason. Actually, I think it was just because of the Euros, but anyway, nice to see that returning. EA are going like all out with evolutions right now. We got one of the better Evo chains that you can make maybe ever, that most of you, I'm sure you've already seen, but I'd show you. After the last 30 minutes, I can't get into Ultimate Team. So I guess we'll just talk about content on FUT GG right now. Let's just go there. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to MMOXP.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Thank you all for joining and being here today. I appreciate all of you, of course, who are watching the channel in May. I greatly appreciate you. And yeah, the Evo chain today was crazy. And this is to me what EA sort of have to do from this point on with content, because they know they've messed up this year. So at this point, just say fucking and go crazy, right? And this right here actually doesn't even show you the full picture, because these 94 Evos with that new TOTS Serie A Evo that came out, I'm sure you guys saw this by now. All you have to do is make one of these guys a TOTS Plus or a TOTS Plus Recolor Evolution cosmetic, and they fit into that 94 Evo to make them a 95. So all these 94s here can go into that Evo and make them a 95 rated. So these cards are literally all +1s on all stats. All these trending Evos here that you can see in this Henri Evo you can get right now is insane. There's a 99 dribbling Henri Evo right now. But yeah, right here, I don't know how you top this Evo in terms of like best of all time. I mean, I don't know how you top this. I guess maybe with Rapid and Quick Step Plus, you could argue those are kind of redundant, so maybe that's an issue on why it wouldn't be the best of all time. But either way, like, this is an insane card that you can make. I want to give EA some credit for this, because to me, what they have to do to keep this year interesting at this point is do stuff like this. And I know that maybe once we get multiple of these, it's not as interesting, but with evolutions, they can always kind of be interesting, because there's always a card you can make that you can make really cool and pick whatever card you want to. So I think Evo's what they have to kind of roll with the rest of this year. I want to give them credit, because this card is unbelievable that you could make. And same with a lot of these cards on this list. This Leao you can make, and you can make this card a +1. Same with this Messi. Mbappe evolution, by the way, we talked about buying an Mbappe. I want to say it was a week or so ago when there was like a pump and dump of Mbappe. I think it was around 225, 240K, something like that. Let's go take a look. Let's look at like 3 days. Yeah, around the 220 mark, 230 for the last few days. They're now up to 330,000. So that was a good buy. I said buying beforehand probably is gonna be best, even though there's already some hype there. Turns out that was the case. And that was the case with all these 92s. So future reference for next year and even the rest of this year, like, we got 92 rated Evos leaked. If you bought this Messi card, it's extinct now at 360. This card was sitting here at what, 260 or so, 250, 260 before. Now you're not even gonna be able to buy this card. So even if their price is slightly up when, say, 92 rated Evos get leaked, right, you still want to buy into that, because there's pretty much no circumstance in which it won't be better to buy them now compared to if they do fit in an Evo and are crazy, like Leao, Messi. Let's see who else on here. A Vinny card, a Gareth Bale, a Mo Salah, a Mia Hamm. There's no way it's not better to buy beforehand, even if they're slightly up, than wait until it comes out and then they're extinct. So I want to give EA their credit here, and I'm really hoping in this new season, which we'll talk about in one sec here, I hope we see more of those 94, 95, 96 rated playstyle plus Evos. That's been one of the best things they've done the past few months, in my opinion. I think most of you guys kind of agree with that sentiment as well. And also today we got fodder increases. So, you know, EA, we talked yesterday about an awful change they made. I do think this is undoubtedly an awful change. They did increase price ranges today on 89s and 90s and 88s actually too. So they're going to stick with this method. They're not going to change out of it. And 91s and 92s are actually slowly rising right now. I would guess that probably continues if this trend continues here, where they're like, yeah, we're going to keep implementing this 89 rated, needing 6 of them, at 90 rated, needing 5 of them, whatever. I would guess we will see a lot of these ratings start to rise over a long period of time, and we'll see what this new season ends up being leaked as. And La Liga TOTS, obviously we have some leaks for that, by the way, but they're so obvious that it wasn't even really worthy of like crazy mention. But I hope La Liga ends up being slightly better than maybe what we've seen for the past couple weeks. The hype is certainly probably there the most of any of the leagues so far, if I would say. And I forgot to mention as well, I'm sure you saw this, they get double 5-star as well. So 5-star, 5-star, and +1s on 94 rated. More stuff like this to me is what will keep this game alive as much as it can. I mean, let's be honest here, they've messed up a lot. But okay, moving on here, we got the Season 8 leak. The Season 8 is called Shapeshifters. If you remember these, which they're channel legends at this point, you know how much I can't stand Milinkovic-Savic, and Striker Petr Cech was unbelievable. And if you're not the biggest fan of this promo, I understand that. I can see why you'd think Striker Cech is like annoying or whatever. To me, as long as it's later on in the year, like beyond May and June, then then sure, I don't mind it at all. I think it's one of the better promos of the summer. And obviously, I'm sure we're going to get a paid season pass. Donk says down here, paid season pass. He replies with, I expect so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not even really a question. The first one, I think, was a smashing success, I'm going to assume. And it'll be very interesting to see if in this new season it's 500K again, or if the price changes slightly, because what they're probably going to do for next year, if they're planning on changing the price at all at any point, you might see this Shapeshifters season be 400K or 600K, right? Just to change it slightly enough so that we're prepared for next year if it's more than 500K and we're not freaking out about it. That's what I would guess we would see here. And there's a couple concepts as well that I want to show you guys here. You know, striker Anthony with the fidget spinner plus, and then Maradona left wing. They always end up doing a couple cards where it's like, is that even Shapeshifters? Like, yeah, we'll get a Maradona at striker instead of Cam or something like that, where it's like, that's no different. And then we'll end up with Petr Cech at striker, or we'll end up with David De Gea at right wing, some bullshit like that, right? And these card designs are not confirmed or anything like that. They're just concepts there, but I'm happy to see this coming back. It gives me the slightest teeny bit of hope to make this end of year somewhat more interesting than what it could be. Let me know what you guys think about that. And okay, very quick random side note here. Best promo in FIFA history for you. AC, I can't say I agree with the level up promo. I don't think that one would be in my probably top 5, but it wasn't awful, I don't think, if I remember right. This seems like maybe a classic case of nostalgia goggles, but I would say to try and not have nostalgia goggles. I think maybe a FIFA 17 or FIFA 18 Futmas, maybe like an early Futmas promo, or I'm trying to think of like what maybe the best one of all time would be. I don't know, a Black Friday maybe, or something like that in FIFA 18, 19, somewhere in there. I don't know. Is there one that stands out to you guys as the best in FIFA history? It's a pretty high bar to reach, but if there's one for you that stands out, then let me know. But okay, moving on here. FUT Agent leaked 3 La Liga Team of the Season cards, and they're the most 3 obvious ones you could probably leak, so I'm not even gonna like say these are even for sure leaks. He might have just tweeted these out because they're so obvious that he just wants to be first here, but he says Yamal's in Team of the Season. Shocker. And the next one here is going to be Kylian Mbappe. Hold on to your horses. I know this is truly stunning news here. Mbappe. And then the third one is Rafinha. So there you go. Thank you so much for that, FUT Agent. Now, he did say here I'm going to leak more in a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, cool that it's coming out. Obviously, it's this Friday. I think it's probably the most hyped league that we've had in a while. Probably since the Premier League, honestly. And yeah, hopefully we get some cool content mixed in here. Flashbacks, maybe. Still waiting on end of an era cards. I think, you know, Angel Correa can get an end of an era card, right? Yeah, right here. Just found it. Angel Correa, end of an era possibility, right? There's so many cards they can throw in here that would be kind of interesting. Every league has 1 or 2 guys that are retiring that you could make an end of an era card for, or not even retiring, just leaving the club, right? Even Trent, for example, right? There's just players you could pick, but also there's a concept I want to show you guys of who could make it into La Liga Team of the Season. Now, there was some controversy around this one. This is very zoomed in. I'm actually gonna have to probably zoom in a little bit on my own here, but apparently Vinny's like not likely to make it. My guess is gonna be he'll end up making it somehow in a highlights card or a moments or something like that. Lewandowski, Pedri, Valverde, Koundé, DePaul, Kubarsi, Bellingham, Balde, you know, a lot of great players and cards in here, a lot of cool ones. Nico Williams, Zorloth, and his highlights predictions there. But yeah, hopefully it'll be exciting and stuff. And the only thing that would make it like not so cool anymore is this stuff they're doing right now. There are currently 7 90 rated cards in packs. All bar 3 are extinct. Is the icon pick the dumbest thing EA have ever done? And shows the picture, obviously, of just the crazy prices of 90 rated cards right now. It's not even the crazy prices. It's just the fact that they're extinct, right? And I don't even know how far they would go if they weren't extinct. Like, I do wonder how high the price really could go. And there was a comment down here that I wanted to talk about too with you guys, that people tend to have a lot when we complain about something and then it gets fixed and then we still complain about it, right? For example, the Nesquik here, 2 days ago, people complained about fodder being worthless. Now it's complaining about prices going up. Where does it end? And it's easy to sit there and be like, hey, you complained about this and then we got this and now you're still mad. We can never be pleased. But EA, for some reason, go from, like Bell says here, it ends when it's not feast or famine. They go from one extreme to another extreme all the time because they're never able to find that balance or middle ground. Now, it's hard to find that, right? It is, but we should also expect to be able to find that. They're the ones making the sweet, sweet addiction money. You can figure that shit out on your own. But I tend to see this a lot, and maybe this is something that maybe is an oversight for me, right? 100% could be. I want to acknowledge that. But oftentimes, whenever there's a crazy, let's say, gameplay mechanic, right? I don't know. Say Trivella's. Well, I guess Trivella's, I won't even say that because people don't really like Trivella's. Let's say Power Shot. What EA tends to do, if Power Shots are OP, they nerf it and make it completely completely useless. Like, you can't even use power shots. And then some people will say, no, you asked for this. This is your fault. It's like, come on, man. You're acting dense, almost on purpose. To say that EA can't win because either 89s and 90s are completely, utterly worthless or they're extinct, that's kind of insane. You know there's a middle ground we can find there very easily. Maybe it's not easily, right? Maybe at this point in the year, it might not be easily. I can acknowledge that. But this kind of comment, on the surface, it makes sense. But when you dig deeper, it's like, no, okay? Both, you don't have to have feast or famine like he says here. It's 99% of the time just two extreme ends of the spectrum and never like a balance. And I know that's hard. I know it can be hard to find that, especially in certain things in certain areas. But also I thought this was funny because the AI now is, they use machine learning to like have the AI play like we do, right? And check out what this AI does here in squad battles. Literally trained by rats. Zidane's taking a Travella outside the box. And this is that kind of thing where it's like, say you want to go deep in the conspiracy rabbit hole here where people are saying dead internet theory onto FIFA, there's bots you're playing against. Like, it'd be a lot harder to tell that nowadays than it ever would have been, say, 3-4 years ago, because they're taking these shots now. If a CPU took that shot against you, you'd be like, no, that's not a CPU. But here we are in squad battles and Zidane's taking Travellas. So just another thing to think about, right, is that AIs could be more at use here than we realize that they are. But we obviously have no proof of that, so we're just speculating. And also here, the market crash, guys. I mean, what's the point of even talking about this? We know what the market does at this point. It just crashes all the time because these Evos. But for example, I think I saw Fud Accountant tweet this out. He talks about Mateo's price. Clara Mateo is 280,000 coins. She was, let's see where she was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, she was 480. Before that, she was like on May 17th, which is 2 days ago, 573, down to 280K. So all it took was one more team of the season coming out, down 300,000 coins. So this is what you expect with the market nowadays. You can't expect anything more or less than this. Also, Adam Morton, shout out Intercept Plus there. This card actually looks kind of crazy. Shout out Crystal Palace as well for beating Man City, because they definitely made Wharton's card way better, thinking they would lose, and then he ends up winning, and then they also gave him Intercept Plus. So shout out EA for making that card juiced. But okay, let's read some of your comments now. And obviously we've talked in depth now about how I don't like this 89 rated, needing 5 of them, needing 6 of 88s, 7 of 87s, whatever that change. But what I didn't realize is that what actually makes a ton of sense too as to why you would do that is it also raises fodder. We know that by now. But what it does do as well is make people more inclined to open store packs, because if you open a store pack that's like, hey, you're guaranteed an 89 in this, or you're guaranteed 2 89 plus cards, then you know for sure you're going to get 2 89 pluses that you can put into that SBC. If you're doing the menu grind right now, you have no way of guaranteeing any rating, especially now that there's what, 7 90s in packs or 7 89s, whatever it is in packs right now. So it's just another way to incentivize store packs, because they can guarantee what you're going to get in there, whereas in the menu grind, they could do anything. I mean, think about it. I mean, this is conspiracy stuff once again here, but if they know you need 89s or 90s and there's not many of them, they can make the pack weight worse on regular 90 rated cards. Of course they could, right? You can get 92s and 93s to keep you satisfied enough, but if you want that Xhaka card, you need a 90. You can't, if you back a 94 and you want Granite Xhaka, doesn't fucking matter. That's crazy that that's a new addition in this game. Maybe I'm Stevie Wonder and I can't see the genius in this or why it helps us, because I was seeing some creators say that it's like a really good change, and I'm like, somebody please show me the light here, because I'm so confused. And also we talked about the toxicity yesterday, with Anders and stuff. Anders, I'm sorry for the thumbnail. I couldn't help. I was cracking up making the thumbnail yesterday. Lamp Dance is talking, for example, he's getting bad comments, so he's got his Liverpool team, right? What I would do is I would just turn off messages. For me, I would no doubt about it, just turn off PSN messages. I know that's annoying and kind of sucks, but knowing they can't message you, and what also helps to me is knowing that they'll like type a rage message to you or some sort of hate message, type it all out to you, and then they press send and it doesn't go through. They know that you can't see that. I always like that satisfaction of it. Like if someone wants to message after the game saying you got lucky or this and that, you can type that whole message in, or they can click send, and you're not seeing it anyway because you have your privacy settings on or whatever. So yeah, I would just say just turn off messages for players who aren't your friends. That's what I would say you should do. And then we got, this is Mark Mack here, who says, as a counterpoint, I think roles are a good thing. In 24, when you saw Hosselu as he's starting right back in most games and even pro events, that is not a genius move. It is totally an expression of meta rat. I don't care about football. I'll do anything for a win tactics. Maybe it's because I played football sims for 20 years, but even now, FC is entirely too loose on allowing players to play in positions and roles that they don't actually play IRL. But yes, there's no way for us to tell if there are more people like me who think cards should play like who they represent, or more people who think that Mbappe should be completely effective as a defender. I think that you're kind of going in the two extremes here. I think most people don't think Mbappe should be able to play right back with no consequence. Maybe there are some people out there, but I would guess that probably there aren't that many of those people. And for me, I think that we should just have a balance between having your cards be literally ingrained into your tactics versus playing in the right positions. Because even Hosselu, right? They played him off chem. But I think a really good in-between medium to fix this problem, because yes, you don't want Hosselu at right back. What you can do though is, now that they implemented roles into the game, if say we were back in 24 where Hosselu is the starting right back in pro events, what can happen is that he can't play any of the right back roles. So his AI is terrible, like how it is now, but even to a worse extreme, if he can't play right back, like his AI is going to be just awful. It won't even be like a right back having fullback with just no role, but they can still play there. It's going to be worse than that. So you can kind of have that in between now where it's like, yeah, you technically can play Hosselu there, but he just will be, his AI will literally be so awful for you that there's no point. Because then we can avoid these whole, okay, I want to play Mbappe as a target forward. I like target forward, but he can't play target forward, but he's a striker who should be able to play target forward. So I guess, yeah, it kind of just goes into like, what do you personally think should be the point where we draw the line? Like, to me, I think it should be the position that they play. I think if they have the position, they should be able to play all the roles without consequence. And that's kind of where it stops for me. I think that, yeah, I don't want to be able to play Mbappe at left mid if he can't play left mid on all the right roles. But if he can play striker and left wing, I should be able to play him on all of the roles that I want to. And maybe that's kind of a dumb point to draw the line at. I don't think so myself. I think that saves a lot of the roles issue while also stopping the Hosselu at right back. So that's where I think we can kind of balance this more, where we go back to what EA tend to do, where they go from one extreme to another. I don't think we have to do that. I think we can just kind of balance this a little bit to prevent the total extreme, but to still have some freedom and looseness there, where we can have our ultimate team, right? Can have more fun that way. Like when Messi can't play false nine, like that's where I draw the line. I'm like, Messi can't play false nine because EA don't give him that role. Like, come on. That's even more strict than a football sim, right? A football sim would let you play Messi as a false nine. But I think that's kind of where I personally would be drawing the line at. But of course, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all for being here and watching today. Love you all. Peace.